All right. And hopefully the internet connection suffices. Welcome, everyone, to our Success Mastermind for Friday, the 29th of October. John Lavenia here with you. It's Fun Friday. I am having fun with my family, in case that's not already apparent. Hopefully this live stream is working. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Good to see you, Lindsay, and good to see everyone who is tuning in. Light crowd last couple of days. I guess people are looking to get out, and we're going to be getting out. I've got my daughter here and my wife over here. We're going to be doing, what are we seeing, Trin? Oh, she's got her headset on. She's
perfect.
She's in Tween land. Dude, perfect. We got to see a little video from them last night. They got all these, obviously all these followers. So we're going to go watch their fun antics here in, anybody know where I am? Lindsay, do you know where I am? No? Place called Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Yeah, you can check that one off the list. We had the continental breakfast at the Ramada, which is one of the nicest hotels here, apparently. Well, you put the waffle sauce. You put the cup of and then you put the waffle, and then it beeps. You turn it over, and you make your own waffles. Right? Trinity thought that was just spectacular. So we got to make waffles, and not complimentary, by the way. $5, $4.99. But anyway, we're here in Sioux Falls. So I don't have a whole lot of ideas to share with everyone today, other than that, well, I guess based on the context of the group that's here with us now, I know you've heard me talk a lot about, getting things done. And one of the things that I'm doing, obviously this weekend is something other than work, right? Which is cool. However, this is the fruit. Let me say this. This is the fruit of having been very intentional over a long period of time. So I know Lindsay certainly gets this. We show up and we show up and we show up. And sometimes it seems like things aren't coming to fruition as quickly as we would like. And then something happens, an opportunity, right? Oh, a new combination. Like all these other things that existed before came together and the planets aligned. And then it's, very fruitful at that point. And so I guess the thing that I want to share with everyone here today is keep showing up. That doesn't mean you have to do it with such intensity, 15, or 24 hours a day. What am I saying? 15, 24 hours a day. Although what we find is that when our intent is there, here's what I have found. When my intent is there, hey, Edward, when my intent is there 24 hours a day, whether I'm, chopping wood and shoveling dirt at that moment or not, right? I'm still getting closer and closer to the gold. Good to see you. In fact, Daisy gave me this shirt. Daisy and her husband, Dale. There you go. Harley Davidson of Glendale. Good to see you, Daisy. Thank you. Yeah. I'm representing SoCal right now. So there's the point, right? Good to see you, Mandy. The point is that if our intention is there all the time, I think a lot of times people confuse intention with intensity. So intention, consistent. Intensity, think of like the sports games. I've talked about this before. The football team in the final quarter, the final 2 minutes, whatever the final thing is. The intensity is there. Why is the intensity there the whole time? Why didn't they start the game that way? They'd probably be 10,000 points ahead by now. But you can only, and I can say this having done physical, exercise kind of stuff like Krav Maga, right? Punching a bag. How long can you go like that? How much intensity can you have? I sometimes see people, if they're watching a boxing match or like the football game or whatever. Well, why don't they do that? Well, it's easy to talk about it. It's easy to say, oh yeah, you should hit him with the uppercut right now. Why are you lollygagging around? Anybody else ever been in the ring with another person trying to knock you out as much as you're trying to knock them out for 3 minutes straight? Anybody ever done that? These guys are amazing athletes. Amazing. right? I can punch a bag for a couple of minutes and be winded. But at what degree of intensity can we maintain? See, and I think that's where a lot of people experience burnout. It's one thing to have intent. And I think intention happens 24 hours a day. The last thing you think about when you go to bed, first thing you think about when you get up, where am I going? Right? Where am I going? But what am I doing about where am I going? That's going to vary in intensity throughout, different cycles. But as I was just mentioning with this example of like the planets aligning, things coming together, because the intention has been there the whole time, and effort, whether intense or not, has been applied consistently, then opportunities show up. I know for some of you, and I made an example of Lindsay just earlier, she's got opportunities showing up in her life, which is beautiful. I know others here also have had things show up in your life that are timely and things that you could take advantage of, but not because you need to strive so hard. And I guess that's the point. I want you to all consider the difference between striving and just having an easy flowing experience. You see, I don't like the word striving. I know a lot of, so-called motivational speakers and stuff have used that word a lot. But to me, that seems like a forceful thing. Force. Isn't it much more powerful, not forceful, but powerful to be in the flow, to have that, we could even say synchronistic experience, to just have things flowing to you in a way that you didn't have to force anything. Again, that comes with intent, but not by striving per se. So here's the idea and where I'm going with this. And I can give you some examples, and hopefully you can see examples of this in common hours in your own life. I know Virginia, for example, right? She's got opportunities coming to her. One of which in the health field, right? Which is, it's certainly something she's had her attention on, not for decades, but for almost a decade, right? But here's something she could do, which arguably could be way more profitable, right? Working with the medical device group, right? Out of, I think it's out of the US. So that's something, right? That's valid. How did that show up? Well, Virginia showed up again and again and again with intention, not knowing what combinations would befall her. Going on to, well, I know Mandy's here. Hey, Mandy. She's got opportunities, right? That in some cases we manufacture and in some cases just show up. And it's like, wow, how fortuitous, right? I got contacted by the person. I got noticed, right? Lindsay, I already mentioned, she got noticed, right? It's like, hey, we're working on this business project. We need help. I think this would be right up your alley. And sure it is. And her stats are going straight vertical, straight up, right? Exciting. But she kept showing up. That's the point. She kept showing up. So a while back, and I think this could perhaps sum it up nicely. And then I'd love to hear from you guys. I don't have like a big topic here for you today. I'm doing the Sioux Falls, South Dakota thing, which we just got here late last night. And I think I'm already complete. Nothing against Sioux Falls. There's not a whole lot going on here, but except for Dude Perfect tomorrow. But I put out an article, it was a blog or podcast or something a few years ago, how weightlifting made me rich. Any of you remember that article? I put that out a couple of years back. Lindsay may have read it. Edward Mosley probably read it. Where is Edward Mosley? I haven't seen Mosley around here in a while. My goodness. Okay, so here comes Ace. But this article said how weightlifting made me rich. And I told the story about how when I was a kid growing up in the streets of New Jersey, I was a skinny kid, right? I could never break 140 pounds. I had ribs sticking out. And that was it, right? I guess good metabolism, that's nice. Okay. But no muscle mass, right? And I was fast, that's for sure, right? If I ever did get the ball, nobody could ever catch me. But I was a skinny kid, right? And I wanted to get big and strong. Now, here I was on the Jersey Shore, right? So if anybody knows anything about the Jersey Shore, I know there was a TV show about it or whatever, but there's a lot of, beach towns and people that like to walk up and down the boardwalk with their muscles hanging out, right? I wanted to get big and strong like these other meatheads, right? So I met up with a couple of meatheads that I knew, and we went to the gym, and they showed me how to lift weights. And within 90 days, I'd put on 15 pounds of muscle. How did that happen? There were three things that they taught me. Three things. And then I applied those things not only to my body, but I applied them into business, and I made a lot of money. Would you like to know what the three things are? See, this is good copywriting for anyone who's wondering, how do you write copy? That's called a cliffhanger, right? Well, tune in next time. And here's the three things, okay? The first one was consistency. These guys showed up in the gym every day. It wasn't once a week. It wasn't, if the crow flies west and, if the omens are right. No, it's every day. Consistency. And so how can we see this work in our business life? Well, I just talked about having consistent intention, obviously, right? It's not like I'm a part-time success seeker, or this is like some facade I'm throwing on, and when it's convenient, I'll go be intentional or something. No, it's like a full-time thing. So are you a bodybuilder or not? All right, well then be that consistently, right? So show up every day. And we did. And it hurt, especially at first. Oh my goodness, right? How much rest do you get? Well, you get 23 hours. We'll see you back here tomorrow, right? So, and we'll do different body parts at that point, which, is something else I'll bring up here in just a minute. But today is leg day, and we're going to do legs. And then tomorrow we're going to do something else. So, but we're going to be here again tomorrow. So consistency, that was the first one. The second item was intensity, which I already mentioned. Okay. So now that you're in the gym, what are you doing? Are you standing around socializing? Are you lifting a couple of weights to the point where you get a little bit fatigued or something? You feel a little discomfort? No, you lift until you cannot lift anymore. You go to what's called muscle failure. You can no longer lift that much weight. However many repetitions, muscles fail. Great. Break down, get some lesser weight, do it again until you fail again with lesser weight, till the point where you got like an empty bar and you could barely lift it. Right? That's called intensity. Now, I already mentioned that we can't do that all the time, 24 hours a day. No, but when you're in the gym, that's when you do that. Okay. So the intention is there, and we're showing up consistently, and then we're doing it intensely in the moment of truth. Right. So what does that do? That forces the muscles to grow. Hey, we just got damaged, call in the troops, rebuild, build back, stronger, and all that. So there's the second item. Does that work in business? Well, sure. How many people have a Milktoast approach? Let's say you got started in some opportunity that befell you. We're talking about, getting in the flow and that easy flowing experience. Well, let's say something flows to you. All right. Well, with what intensity do you engage it? For a lot of people, it's habitually do enough to not be seen as a failure. That's it. Just do enough to not be recognized as the Milktoast. I love that word, by the way. Means spineless and, lacking vim and vigor, and other words that start with V. So, all right, bare minimum, like at a job, right? Doing enough to not get fired. I mean, after all, it's not your passion in life. Who cares really, right? I'm going to look busy now. No, that's not it. Intensity, because we intend consistently, we intend to get that result. I intend to break down the muscle and therefore build it back stronger. And that's my intention. Therefore, let me go with complete intention for this duration, for this time that I'm here. Same thing in business. We talked about seizing the carp, right? Carp diem, right? Seizing the moment, seizing the day, like really seizing it, not just kind of trying, but like really seizing it. Because things come in waves, right? I just mentioned opportunities that befall us. That's wonderful. Well, guess what? There's a crest and trough and the rhythm of life, and the tide goes out and the tide comes in. Well, when the tide comes in, grab the buckets, everybody. Grab the buckets intensely, right? That's the second item. So we have consistency, we have intensity. And the third thing, which I already kind of alluded to, was variety or diversity. So on Monday, we did legs. On Tuesday, we did not do legs. We did chest and biceps, right? Okay, why is that? Well, the legs need a couple days to rest because we just destroyed them yesterday. Okay. Also, if all you ever did was legs, you'd be like, you know, all legs. I mean, how does that look? Most people are the exact opposite. They're what we would call all guns, no wheels, right? They got the chest and the biceps, these tiny, skinny little legs, because legs hurt, right? I mean, that's like the roughest workout there is leg day. And so they're all guns and no wheels, right? So what do, right? You diversify. In fact, you diversify within the diversification. So you've got, this week's chest workout is different than next week's chest workout. So we're going to hit a little differently, hit some different angles, some different postures and different lifts. Okay. So there's that variety. And so we get what? We get symmetry and proportion, right? How about in business? How does that work in business? How did that make me rich? Well, what's the most dangerous number in business? 1. I've got one method to get leads. I've got one method to sell. I've got one method to deliver. One. What happens when that one, gets a chink in its armor or something? I remember back in the days before the Google slap. Now, some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. Google used to be somewhere where anybody could show up, throw a few dollars at advertising and get leads like instantly. Here's traffic to whatever piece of crap website you put up. It all works. It all works. And you could spend a few $100 a month and you could have more leads than you could even talk to. And then Google decided to change its rules, its algorithms. It started flexing its authoritarian muscles. Now it's so completely off the rails. Forget about it. But back in those days, we were selling BizOp. So here's ways to make money from home, make money online, and good and right, authentic, legitimate opportunity. We weren't selling, crypto Ponzi schemes. In fact, there was no such thing as cryptocurrency back then. Which, by the way, a lot of people buy those kind of like Ponzi schemes and stuff, like free, money for nothing. All you got to do is put your money here, and then you're going to get more out on the other end. I mean, people buy that by the millions. Like millions of people buy that. There's even directories of what's called HYIP, high yield investment programs, also known as Ponzi schemes, that there's like directories. This one's on the rise, this one's about to crash. And people just like invest in all these things and try and get other people to do so as well, so that, get while the getting's good before the whole damn thing comes down. And they will. They know they will, right? It's like, here are the ones that are on the rise. Buy those now and sell those. Holy crap. But yeah, I guess some people don't need to sleep good at night. They're sociopaths. I don't know. But the idea here, back to the idea of diversity, right, is that we had to have additional methods of more than one, in other words, to sustain and to grow businesses. And there's times when we have, and there's times when we haven't. I'll tell you what, when I violated these 3 principles, consistency, when I've been inconsistent, intensity, when I've been milquetoast about it, diversity, when I've just rested on my laurels because one method was good enough. When I violate those 3, stats go down, sometimes abruptly. So here's the Google slap. No, you can't advertise your BizOp anymore. Get out. Oh shit, now what? Now what, right? Well, we had other methods that we had sort of, put aside because they weren't as convenient as just, throwing a few dollars to Google. So we had to revisit some of those. And then, with every crisis is the seed of an equal or greater opportunity, right? We got into other methods, right? Again, this is before there was such a thing as social media. MySpace might have been around. I don't know. But anyway, those were the 3 things. Okay, so now you know the 3 principles, if you will, that got me to be more than 140 pounds and also to make a lot of money. How can we apply those into our lives now? The intention is there the whole time. So above all of it is the umbrella of intent or intention, and then we've got intensity, right, which happens at times, consistency, which means keep showing up and keep being intense, and diversity or variety, right? I like to use the word variety because in modern times, diversity, people have added all kinds of meanings to that. So variety, okay, so you're not just doing, arm curls every day, where you're not just doing, Google AdWords or something. Am I making any sense? I hope so. Intimate crowd here today. I'd love to hear from each of you if you want to chime in. How are you demonstrating your intent, and what's showing up in your life? Is there an opportunity or opportunities showing up in your life? Could you engage them consistently and intensely and with a variety of approaches? Who's got some thoughts on this? Please come on out. I'd love to hear from somebody besides me today. All right. So I know that Ace, you've certainly been hanging around here for a while. Daisy, Edward, Lindsay, Mandy, Virginia. Let's hear from Lindsay here, because Lindsay, you've had the planets aligned for you recently, and you're just getting going. My goodness, what's happening?
Yes, lots happening. Yeah, you're right. Now, I do show up, but I've decided to show up with more posture, and it's something enthusiasm. I am sold myself, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person and the wrong thing to the right person. So it just kind of, when you just let that go and it just flows, and it just makes a world of difference, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're having fun. You're making money. What you just said is such a great reminder. I haven't heard that in a while. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, or the other way around, right? Wow. So what a relief, right? What a load off. You talked about posture, right? So you don't have to pretend. I mean, what are you going to pretend? Right? And if you can see, well, let's go. And if you can't see that, well, then there's nothing I can say to make you see that. So, wow, Lindsay, that just came out of Lindsay's mouth, everybody. See, she's been hanging around for a while. She's got this stuff.
I'm learning stuff.
You're awesome. So good to see you. All right.
Yeah,
glad you're here. All right, Ace, we haven't heard from Ace in a while. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not a lot. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm in South Dakota. God bless America.
What part?
All that.
What part of South Dakota you in?
Sioux Falls, all the way east.
Oh, wow.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'm in Sioux Falls, all the way on the Sioux River.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm busy, but I'm not really. I got a lot of things just scattered. Checking in here most days. I've been kind of sloppy here lately, but it really helps keep me grounded and focused, and uplifts me and to keep moving forward, So the consistency thing you're talking about is really the most important thing. And when I find out that I'm not being consistent, when I realize that I'm not being consistent, then I look back, it's like, well, that's why that's not going as well as it needs to be. So you just have to strap in and continue forward,
Okay. Well, the first step in solving any problem is confronting the problem, right? Look at the problem. Okay, there it is. So we talked, was it yesterday, about, getting more done today? I think you were here with us yesterday. The idea of, block scheduling and prioritization. I could tell you that if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist typically, right? So if there's something I can do more consistently, do you guys know how to set up recurring events, assuming you're using an electronic calendar? Like everything we do here in the Mastermind group, like it's general session, Monday through Friday at this time, right? Here's the link, right? So all of that was set up on a recurring event, right? Inside, in this case, the Google Calendar, is because a lot of people can access that very easily. So that's it, right? And so could it be, ACE's business action, whatever it happens to be labeled, or, go to the gym, or whatever it happens to be, right? Just on a recurring basis to induce that consistency. I'll tell you what, this is right out of Ace. Have you read The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long?
Yeah, we read it.
Yeah, there you go. So in that book, he talked about how you would get a cognitive dissonance. So if you gave yourself a command, let's say we know that these are right actions based on what we say we want. Here are the right actions. Okay. So now I affirm to myself each day that I do these right actions. And if we actually do follow our own command, right, we're going to get closer to our goals. If we don't, and we're lying to ourselves, we're going to have that cognitive dissonance, right? I said I do this action every day. Oh, I didn't do it, right? And we'll either drift away and abandon the goals, or we'll conform to what we said we should be doing in the first place because we keep drilling it into ourselves. Uncomfortable, yeah, I guess the whole idea of cognitive dissonance, which means that you're disagreeing with yourself, right? You've got an inner conflict. Hopefully, if you can confront that, that would induce some change. But here's what I know for Ace and for everyone: we're so able, like so way beyond able compared to like what we actually do. Holy crap! And to think that most people, they spend the majority of their energy just in like basic survival stuff, like a rat looking for cheese, man. Like, where's the higher level, self-expression and self-determinism, right? So I think maybe, and you can own this or not, we owe it to ourselves to demonstrate, abundance and to reach big and to win big, right? I know, Ace, you know all about winning, right? We've got a common friend who loves winning, right? Very competent, and so role models. There's an idea, right? What would such and such role model do presented with the opportunities that I've been presented with? Oh, well, they would kick ass. Oh, okay. Well, then do that. Anyway, glad you're here, brother. Love you, man. Good to see you. By the way, were you in Sturgis this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It was pretty busy.
Yeah.
I never got COVID, so it must be all right.
Oh, yeah. Got to watch out for that mysterious, invisible coof. All right. Good to see you, Ace. Mandy. Hey, Mandy. What's going on with you?
Hi, John. Right. Okay. So lots of bits here. So that I've been doing another program, the leadership program that I've been doing since the end of September. And what we learned from that was that everything's 100% intention and 0% mechanism. That's one of the things we learned. I can't share too much of it because the way that the program is put together, if I tell too much, then it means that somebody else going to do it in the future won't get the same out of it, because it's all about experience, and it's all about what you've said before. It's all about be, do, have, not about do, have, be. It's all about the being and everything. So I went to it because I was looking at what wasn't working and how my limited beliefs were still holding me back from actually launching my new reporting business. To just actually get out there and do it. Why am I not doing it? What is the fear that's holding me back? So that's why I went onto it. So it's in 3 parts. So we've done the first 2 parts in the whole of October. So I've been on Pacific time for quite a lot of October. So my body clock doesn't know where it is at the moment. But we're just going into the practice part of it now. And that's where all of the intention comes from. So I've got a goal that we've put to the end of January. So my goal is obviously to launch my business between now and the end of January and get 5 people enroll on it. But we've got to be intentional. We have to have the consistency. I had the consistency before, but not always the intensity. So it's about bringing all these 3 things in. And then the variety comes into, do I do it as a webinar? Do I do it as a summit? Do I do it as a workshop? So all these things are now what's going to happen for me. So I've given myself, because it's half term over here, I've given myself these 2 days off just to be with my son and get bits sorted out around the house. And then on Monday, I've got to go and hit all of these things and make sure that I've got all the blocks of time filled out. So it's so true. I mean, this is my last chance. I need to get to the end of January and I want this all to work out. So I think it's very true what you've been saying here. And we also learned just how important commitment is, and that commitment means no matter what. You're committed to it, you will do it no matter what. Which is why they didn't record anything, why we had to be there doing it overnight and everything, or doing 12-hour days, because they want you to have that commitment and prove that you can have that commitment to do it. And you realize what you can get done in a short amount of time as well. So in one lunch hour, somebody arranged, and that's an hour and a half, $4,000 in 1.5 hours from beginning of concept to end of concept. That money was raised. It's amazing what you can do in a short amount of time when you just put your mind to it and the intensity behind it and the intention behind it. So it has been quite eye-opening, and it's been a really good thing. So yeah, I'm just hopeful, and yes, put all these things in place over the next 3 months.
Beautiful. Hey, Mandy, you remind me of something that is well, it's a concept of more buy buttons, right? So if you had one offer and one way for someone to buy it, well, that's one, right? But the more ways that we can approach that, or the more front end, paths that there are to get to more buy buttons, right? In fact, this is something that Shannon and I were just talking about the other day. She has methods that have worked to whatever degree, and then installing other methods that appear to be more fruitful with less time invested too. That's good, right? That's leverage, right? But if we just kind of sat there with one, well, it works, but how much of that one can you do? So that's I think the big consideration. In fact, I know Shannon's doing some research right now. She probably doesn't want to comment on anything right now. She's just back there doing her research. There she is. There she is, lounging.
I saw your daughter, yeah.
And there's Trinity.
Yeah, so she's there on the laptop.
I'm just lounging.
She's just all right. So it's lounge time. Thank you,
I'm
Mandy.
just lounging.
Yeah, we're on vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'm not working on my laptop or anything.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
As
that was
they
very
say,
good.
on holiday, on a weekend holiday.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to see in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go see the Falls Park, where there's the actual falls, like where the river goes over the rocks, right? That's like the main attraction. And I think there's an apple orchard or something. We can go pick some apples. Anyway, but tomorrow, Dude Perfect with crazy antics. Check out Dude Perfect on YouTube. These guys are nuts. All right. Shall we wrap up? Any other thoughts? Okay, we're good. All right. Well, I'm going to be back here with you on Monday. Obviously, we do not have Be Heard today, although I'm going to be having some one-on-one time with a few of you today because we do have some business stuff that we're handling. We did have our practical entrepreneurial tips this morning at 4 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Eastern, 12 noon BST. So tune into the replay. I'm going to get that posted right now. Ego delivered some good stuff there. And then this is our final week coming up here of daylight time here in North America and in Europe, I believe. So just keep that in mind. We'll be shifting clocks here pretty soon, except for those of us who live in Arizona or Hawaii, because our clocks never change.
So I was going to say, because you didn't have that on the calendar, we've got 1 week where we are now different.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you, my friends.